Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of One Dad, Seven Lives with me, Mr. Funk. I will be taking you through this one today, and I do thank everyone for being here with me. Now, what I want to talk about is satellite parenting, or not satellite parenting, but parenting other people's kids, telling other people how they should parent. Now, I understand that certainly I sat here yesterday saying that you should spend time with your kids and stuff, and that is an opinion. But what I want to talk about is more to do with these people who push their beliefs and their opinions of how to how to parent perfectly onto other people, and to tell other people that this is how you should be parenting, this is how you should be doing it. If you're not doing this, then you're doing it wrong. Keep your goddamn fucking nose out of my shit. Like, why have you got to go around telling other people how they should treat their kid, how they should parent their kid, how they should discipline them, how they should reward them for things? Like, I don't understand. Like, your kids aren't perfect. Fuck's sake. Your kid tried to climb inside a fucking oven. You know? Your kid's probably the type of kid to fucking try and climb inside a fridge and close the door after itself. Don't tell me how to parent my kids. Like, I just watched your child stick its hand in a puddle and lick it. Like, don't be telling me how to parent my kid. If your kid's a retard, don't tell me how to parent. Just because you think you're all high and mighty. Like, that's absolutely unbelievable. And for anybody that's listening out there, please do, and this is mothers and fathers, please do take this to heed. Fuck what anybody else says. What you're doing is right for your kid, therefore, fuck what anybody else says. They can go and fucking stick their head up their arse, right? Fuck them. Fuck them to the moon. Who gives a fuck, right? Nobody cares. So, you know, who the fuck actually cares what you're doing? The only person that should care what you're doing is you as a parent, and your partner as a parent. That's it. No one else. So stop buying into these fucking self-help super parenting fucking gurus. They're absolute fucking charlatans. And you just need to parent your child as you feel necessary. If you need help, then that is a different thing. But what you don't need is, you don't need help being a parent. You don't need a help. You don't need help parenting your child. What you need help with is, you need help dealing with the stresses of parenting. And you need to understand the difference. The stresses of parenting are not the same as not being able to parent your child. And people seem to misinterpret this stuff and seem to think that they are both the same thing. Not being able to deal with the stresses of parenting or being a parent is not the same as not being able to parent. You can parent perfectly fine. You can tell your child to stop doing things. You can teach your kid what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong, what is the right way to be happy, what is the right way to be angry, to express their feelings properly. You don't need help doing that. You know how to do that because You are a human. You have done that. You have already done this. This is something that you do on a daily basis. So you know how to deal with emotions, and you know that if the way that you do it, the way that you deal with your emotions, or the way that you interact with other people, is right or is wrong, is negative or positive. You know this, so you don't need help doing this. What you need help with is the stresses of parenting. You need help with dealing with the temper tantrums, dealing with the late nights and the early mornings, dealing with the getting up 5 times during the night, dealing with a child who doesn't want to eat their dinner, dealing with a child who will lie on the floor and scream for 20 minutes straight. That's not bad parenting that's causing that, and that's not. So you don't need help doing that. You don't need help dealing with that. So I just hope that I can drive it home that you are not a bad parent, and you don't need help being taught how to parent. You need help being taught how to deal with being a parent. That's what you need help with. Because the way I always see it is that if that was me and Mrs. Funk, and we were out, and she was doing some of the stuff that I've explained. Now, this is obviously a massive hypothetical, because I don't I don't see any adult, um, and especially an adult woman, standing in the middle of a fucking, you know, a shop, a grocery store, whatever you want to call it, screaming their lungs off because they're not getting the sweetie that they want or the juice that they want. But um, if if she was doing that, I know how I would deal with that. So why is it any different dealing with the child? And this is the thing a lot of people have to see is, yes, children learn differently. Correct. Yes, children react to stimuluses differently. But how would you react to an adult, your partner, doing what I explained, what I discussed? So why won't you react like that when your child does it? Most people seem to think that parenting is this massive leap forward, and it is. It is. It brings a lot of things to your life that you maybe were not expecting. Yes, I agree. I understand. But once they get to a certain age, round about the sort of 18 to 24-month mark, that year and a half to 2 years, once they start understanding what is going on about them, once they start gaining information about the people round about them, and they are comfortable in the knowledge of the people that they have, they will start to just use their attitude to get what they want. Now, I have never been one to give in to someone who uses threats. And that's what your kids are doing. They're using threats. How would you deal with someone, your partner? Obviously, we'll go with that, because a random stranger you would deal with differently. But how would you deal with your partner if they were threatening you with, if you don't get me X, I will do Y? How would you deal with that? Now, why won't you why won't you deal with your child like that in that same way, because you have love for your child the same way you have love for your partner. Why does your child having a screaming tantrum in the middle of the shop change the way that you deal with it? What I personally would generally do is I would, and this is what I would do, this is not what I'm saying will work for you, this is not what I'm saying you should do with your child, but I know that this works for me, and it certainly works for me with other kids as well, is bring your level down, calm down, bring yourself to the same level as the child, and tell them to come to you, is what I do. Because what you're doing is you're immediately giving them that, I am the authority figure here, I am going to tell you what to do, and this is how it's going to go ahead. Once you've done that, and they come to you, then explain to them what is happening, why they're not getting what they're getting, what they're not getting. You don't need to go in depth. You don't need to explain to them that, we're only here for bread and milk and I didn't bring enough money to get such and such a thing or whatever. All you need to do is explain to them that we're going to be leaving the shop. And again, this is me. I explained to them that we're going to be leaving the shop, we've got what we need, we're not getting anything else, and you need to stop the crying before we leave the shop, or X will happen. Whatever the punishment might be. And it might be that you will go to your bed when you get in the house. It might be that if you don't stop crying, you don't stop the tantrum, that you won't get any sweeties for the rest of the day. It might be whatever you deem that is necessary. And generally what you will find, or what I have found, is that even if it's not crying, even if it's just, to use an example, Mrs. Funk's friend, my kids' friends who I've spoke about before, their kids, one day, me and Mrs. Funk were taking our kids to school, and normally I play with all the kids, but I had a bad back that morning, and I kind of said to my kids, like, look, it's not, that's not how we don't do this. It's done for the moment. No hitting, no clambering, whatever. And the Mrs. Funk's friend's kid, try saying that 10 times fast. Mrs. Funk's friend's kid. Oh, no thanks. Started trying to like hit me in the back. So I didn't obviously do everything I said there. I got down to his level. I told him to come to me, and I explained to him why I wasn't playing and why we couldn't play because of my back. And I didn't obviously say that I was going to punish him because he's not my kid. He's not my kid to deal with. But I just explained in a calm manner that, look, this can't go on. My back is really sore. I've hurt it when I woke up this morning. It's something that I've got all the time, but it's been really bad this morning, so we can't be playing like this. And so we need to stop. And he did. And it wasn't till later on I found out Mrs. Funk was talking to her pal, and she said to me that our pal said, like, he never reacts like that with anyone. He never listens to anybody the way that he listened to me. Now I know it sounds like I'm tooting my own horn and blowing my own trumpet here, and certainly believe me or not, but speaking to your kids in an authoritative but non-threatening way, because they're not of the understanding as to what the situation is. They don't know a lot of the time what they're doing is wrong. Now, when they're in these tantrums and in these hyper hyperactive states, then sometimes they can be a bit more sort of um, difficult to deal with, shall we say? Um, but yeah, that's kind of my point on that. Is you know that's how I would deal with my kid if it was like that. But to my main point really is like, if your house isn't in order, you can't be telling other people to clean their house. And and when it comes to kids, everybody's kids are different. Everybody's kids react differently to different things. You don't know what their mental states are. You don't know what their mental capabilities are, what their cognitive abilities are. You don't know whether they have a disability or not. And when I say that, I'm speaking on things like autism or any of these sort of mental disorders. And you can't tell someone to deal with their kid in X way to stop a problem that you can't stop, you know? And the one thing that really annoys me about that is that you shouldn't be saying, well, this is how you should deal with that, because you don't know what the kid's situation or dealings are. And if the kid is, for argument's sake, say autistic, then dealing with them the way that I mentioned might work, but it might also trigger them out off as well, and it might send them into a spiral that you definitely won't be able to get them out of. And it's unfair to judge other people based on your parenting style. Just because you shout at your kid, or you don't shout at your kid, or you don't raise your voice, or you don't punish, or you don't give treats, or you don't reward a good job, you only punish the bad stuff, or you don't punish the bad stuff, you only reward the good stuff, or whatever your parenting style might be. you can't you cannot tell someone that their parenting style is wrong just because their kid isn't like your kid. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. You're different from them, and I can guarantee you that if you've got brothers or sisters, you're a different person from your brother, from your sister. You would have all been raised the same way for the most part. So why is it that you are all different under the same parenting style, but you're then going to tell someone else that their parenting style is wrong because their kid doesn't act like yours? Do you get that logic? Like, it's a circular logic that doesn't really make sense. It's like, well, your kid's different from mine, so you must treat it the same as mine, and then make it the same as mine. But then, do you get where I'm coming from? Like, does that make sense? Um, it's fucking ridiculous. It's insane, and I don't understand it. Like, I'll never criticize someone's parenting skills. I might criticize someone for being a shitty person. I don't have an issue with that. I will absolutely not fucking hesitate in calling you retarded if you're retarded. Absolutely will not hesitate in calling you a fucking idiot if you're an idiot. But you know, there are certain people that you can call shitty people, but you can't necessarily call them shitty parents. You don't know. And how is that fair? How would you like it, the way I put it? How would you like it if someone was calling you a shitty parent? Would you like it? Would you enjoy it? I don't think so. So why are you allowing yourself to do it to other people then? That's the way that I put it to people. Is why are you allowing yourself to do it to other people if you won't allow it to be done to you? Because if someone called me something like that, I would flip my lid. I would flip, and I have. And I don't understand why you would be okay calling someone else it but not being called yourself. Like, if you want to call me retarded, cool, go for it. That's fine. Don't give a fuck. I understand that I'm retarded as fuck. I get it. It makes sense. I'm a fucking retard. I understand it. But don't criticise someone's parenting skills. Don't criticise someone for being a shitty partner, a shitty husband. That's something I'll touch on in another one later down the road. Um, I don't have an issue in touching on that later. But don't tell someone that they're a bad ex, or they're bad at this or they're bad at that or whatever it might be, because you don't know. You just don't know. You can call them a shitty person, yes. Like, if you see a shitty person, call them a shitty person. I absolutely agree with that. But stop criticising people for being fucking bad parents. It's total bullshit. Anyway, I'm just fucking repeating myself now at this point. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Come and catch me over on Twitter at one dad pod. That's the number one DADPOD. Or come and catch my videos over on YouTube. I am over the course of the next month or two, I think, going to start doing longer episodes on for Sundays. I've been considering it for a while. I know I mentioned it in an episode a while back. So if anybody's got any opinions on that, it'll just be a general recap of the topics I covered during the week. Any comments or questions that anyone might have, so please do let me know. Otherwise, guys, thank you all for joining me today. I do appreciate every single person for being here and for listening to me. I know there's not that many of you yet, um, but certainly, hopefully, we can get this out there. Certainly, share this to your friends, your family. See what opinions and what people we can get on here to see what they think. But thank you very much to the few of you that are listening at the moment. I certainly do appreciate all of you, and y'all have a good day.